actually,
Yes.
you know, across the board here. So, thank you. We're going to have lots of questions for you guys, and we're going to go to Jill, and then we're going to open it up wide open for anybody that has any questions at all.
I would just like to say that it's kind of a shame that, you know, Kent has, we'll say, the courage, obviously the courage and the strength to stand by himself. And if he's divided between, you know, 20 other children, let's say, on the other side of the classroom, I mean, you know, out of averages, that there should have been more over on Kent's side. And hopefully you would hope that at least some of the other children would have some of that same courage that it takes for him to have done what he did. I obviously didn't have it when I was his age, but they could at least stand up for him and let, you know, other people know that it really doesn't matter. So some way, too bad it just can't commingle, you know, obviously with time, but I think parental influence in that same direction would be pretty awesome. So obviously, okay, I didn't have that courage. Clinically, I'm defined as preoperative transsexual. So I belong with a pretty big umbrella, but then I'm a minority within the umbrella. So being transsexual, obviously M to F. There's also F to M. You could be pre-op transsexual. You could be post-op and have completed all your surgery. You could also be non-operative. I've kind of slid that in there, which is kind of a gray area. I've been a participant of the University of Michigan's Comprehensive Gender Services Program. So I've got many hours of psychological review, individual group therapy, you know, under the belt. They're very conservative, and I intentionally set up enough challenges with myself to even be more conservative. I have two beautiful children. My son is 16. My daughter will be 18. So, you know, my concern, even within my journey, is them. I have come out to them. My daughter finally just saw me after about a year, like a week ago, and she's like, "Oh, I've worried and stressed over nothing." She goes, "I'm glad I didn't wait any longer." So it seemed to work. You know, my son, you know, he's got a more difficult road, you know, to say as a boy, you know, trying to define himself. You know, they always tend to, with hanging with his friends, is, you know, tend to be a little more masculine, or trying to, you know, ward off any of those, any attacks. The only thing I was good at when I was maybe Kent's age was hiding, and I could just hide and blend. And I studied a lot, you know, to watch men or boys to say, see how they act. I mean, I could kind of follow that. I'm waiting for my Oscar. I don't know if it'll ever be here, but you know, because I came out to my parents just the end of October, and they claimed they didn't know. I was kind of, it got put off. It just needed to come out, you know, out of respect. They prefer not to talk about it, and still don't. But
and why did you tell your children?
April, it was almost a year. Okay. Yeah, almost a year. And the thing just came across my mind is that, you know, I'm not afraid, and not at this given moment, to give my life for my children. And so I tried to explain to them, why would I be afraid to share my life with you? So I think it's been good. It's been better than what I expected. I think anybody's approach or attitude with anything, how you project yourself, is going to make a difference on how people perceive you or receive you. I believe in being positive. You know, it's my journey. It took a long time to accept it. It took a long time to come to terms with it. I think there's a lot of depth differences there. This is something I've known since age 4. How? I don't know. It was there. I knew it was there. You know, it'd be like age 4. It would pop up at 7, 9, 11. You know, it's like 14. It's there. It's not going away. And like, I don't know what to do with this. I didn't know how to speak about it. I thought that I was given enough signals. You know, in my mind, you know, I've got flares, I got flags, you know. I'm trying to, you know, have my parents, somehow they're going to see this. They're going to ask me, but it didn't really happen. So I just figured, okay, well, I don't know, some way. I thought at least I was positive enough to determine somewhere, somehow in the future, it'll figure itself out. So I just figured, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I guess I'm at a point where I have the courage to be proud to be trans. We don't like to really, I'm proud to be trans. I don't know, I don't fall under either side. I don't care. I'm just going to do me and my thing. And, I'm going to try and be positive throughout the world. I will help whoever I can. Certainly safety issues are a big concern. I've got a concern for younger trans. There's really some serious, unfortunate incidents, with the younger trans, and it's not even something that's usually even listed as a hate crime, which is a shame. So it doesn't get much notice to it. They're trying to change that. Chrysler's a big part of that. Chrysler has a diversity week. That's absolutely awesome. The presentation and the panel that was there, Leo Romo came down and met with me. What a sweet man. And I mean, seating for 200. The panel that was there, it's like, if you had to pay them, I have no idea. They came from New York. They came all over the place. Absolutely awesome. Breathtaking. You would want it to last, again, 4 hours. Like I would like to go. But it's just, and there had to be like maybe 4 dozen people. And it was just like, it would just be, if it could be required by, schools, at least, from schools to be there, just to partake and to listen to that. Because Chrysler, I guess, plays up. They've got a whole hall, my friend tells me, they show somebody has had, SRS, sexual reassignment surgery, or you can consider it gender reassignment surgery. And they've done this, which is monumental for Chrysler. And they have all these people's pictures at line. And I thought, that's a lot of courage there. Because I still have and will always have, safety issues and being concerned. And, I watch. You don't usually find me without a friend, kind of thing. I'm not paranoid, I don't think. But, I'm just trying to be careful. And I'm also feeling like I would like to teach, younger trans to be careful, because you can get lost within this. You get lost within your feelings, your heart. All you want to do is go forward, be free. But you still have to have regards for the world, and I think the world is great. I think there's a lot of good in it. You just have to watch out for, what potential bad could be there.
Let's open it up. Questions from everybody.
My son is gay, and when he came out and shared with me, and to this day he's never told his dad.
Okay.
My daughters and I told my husband. And he still won't really talk about it. But he says, Mom, I knew from the time I was about 5 years old. And this is, how do you know at 5 years old? That path. I'm thinking back to when I was in kindergarten at 5 years old. I didn't know where I was going or who we were going to be, but that's what he has always said. He says, I knew from the time I was about 5 years old that this was my path. And he has a beautiful partner. Joel and Kevin have been together probably almost 4 years now, and they live in Grand Rapids.
Great.
But the same thing, it's always a safety issue. Mm-hmm. They never go anywhere without somebody with them. They're always partnered up.
That was our biggest concern too.
Oh yeah. And
I can accept him being gay, but he's going to get beat up.
A gay basher getting a phone call and having my son be in the hospital because somebody who doesn't understand and doesn't accept people for who they are, and to just take it out on him.
That's a big word. Big word.
I think everybody's journey is different. I don't know that I knew when I was 5 and 6 and 8 years old that I was
doing it at 6 or 8 years old.
But when I look back in retrospect, I used to have crushes when I was that age. I mean, you're not really sexually attracted to somebody, but you have these little crushes. And when I think back now, all my crushes were on females. So now it should start to make sense. All the way through high school, I dated guys. I had wonderful boyfriends. I stayed with them for, I had long-term relationships with guys. I even had a guy who wanted to marry me. I'm like, no, I'm going to go off to school first. And then maybe I'll think about it. But I think the biggest reason I said that is because, there wasn't a lot of chemistry. There wasn't much chemistry at all. Okay, I loved him. He was a great guy. But it was just like, if this is all there is, then I'll just go to school first, finish all my things, and then I'll worry about that. So I did the experiment, several times. When I went away to school, then you're you're in an environment where you can do that experimentation. I think I was also in a traditional home where I would have been afraid to come out in my family's home. But it didn't take me but my freshman year, about 2 months into being at Bowling Green, when I started to develop a relationship with a woman, and I was really scared. I mean, there were no homosexuals in my high school that I knew of. Of course, there were people there, but people weren't out of the closet then. And so, I was a little bit scared, and things kind of went along, and then it just was like this. The first time that a woman kissed me, it was like fireworks. All these guys had kissed me, all these other relationships, and there was like nothing. And the first time a woman kissed me, it's like, oh my goodness, this is what it's all about. I get it now. And that's just the kiss. So I mean, we're talking. I'm not even going to go to the rest of it. But I do want people to understand. Yeah, I'm being, especially on tape, right? The reason I say this is I do want people to understand who aren't, that aren't same-sex attracted, that it is such a difference. I even went back trying to do the experiment after that with guys. I'm a scientist, so I called it the experiment. And, it just was never there. It didn't matter. I mean, I always thought, well, it's just not the right guy. And then you hear guys say that. Well, you just haven't been with the right guy yet. It's like, okay, I'll give you a chance. No. It's just not there. I'm being silly, but there is a huge difference.
That's exactly what Joel and I are so close. He'll be 25 in May, and I can be in the shower, and he'll say, pull the curtain, I need to talk to you. And he'll come in and just talk. And he did that a couple years ago at Christmas when he was already with Kevin. And he finally had come out and said, I just want you to know, Mom. He says, I did have sex with a woman. And I'm in the shower going, yay! And he goes, it was the most disgusting thing that ever happened. And I said, I thought in my head, I said, are you serious? And I said, maybe it wasn't the right one. And he goes, Mom. I said, okay, I won't. But as a mother, did you feel you played a part in this? Did you feel guilty?
A little bit at first. I mean, you think, why? Because I was stupid. I was ignorant at first. I didn't know why it happened. Yeah. And, you hear all these stupid things, people saying, oh, it's an overbearing mother, it was an uninvolved father, all these things. And so you look back and say, did we do any of that to him? But then, I mean, you think about it, a 12-year-old who cried when he told us, I think I like guys, because he thought we would not love him. Right. He did not choose it. Right. There's no way he chose it. There's no way that he wasn't born with that. And so it didn't take us that long to get over that part.
Do you guys think, like, in the younger generation, there's not moderates? Like, it's either people accept it or people don't? Because I see it, like, from back when I talk, I have friends that are homosexual, and my grandma is not very accepting of it. My mom is more accepting, and people my age, I seem to see, like, they're a lot more accepting of it than, like, the people that were my grandma's friends.
Absolutely. People our age, around 50, are the worst.
But that's a generality.
It's a generality, but
my parents are in their 70s, and they're fine. They're fine.
Actually, grandparents of gay kids, I think, are better than parents. Well, life experience.
Yeah.
And they don't feel that immediate blame. It's 2 levels away.
Right.
So it's
I think a lot of I know I was raised in a very strong, strict Catholic home. Mm-hmm. And so you have an awful lot that is embedded in your brain that you have to de-learn.
Overcome.
Yeah. So did you feel that way? Did you feel
I felt guilty. Oh, yeah. I said to Joel, what did I do wrong?
And the best way to get over that guilt, I think, and this is from years and years of grappling with it myself, is to recognize that as long as that child grows up healthy and happy, then they have a wonderful life, and there's no reason to feel guilty. There's no reason to feel guilty about bringing up a wonderful child who, does things for other people, has great character, You know, and
Ask him all the way.
there you go. So.
You know, and I
the
totally
West
agree with
shouldn't
that.